Premium luxury. This segment is a little bit crowded, but what makes this stand out is this is a plug-in hybrid. It's pretty smooth and quiet too. Everything's acoustic around you, so sound deadening, which you'll see through this review, is actually really good. And comfort. Now it's over $86,000. This used to be the sweet spot SUV in performance and luxury, but is it still that case? I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides, and Crown Volvo Cars has given us this 2026 Volvo XC90 T8 ultra bright 7-passenger plug-in hybrid in blonde over navy. Last year we got updates that transformed this vehicle. Now what you're getting for over 85 grand on the ultra bright is going to be the chrome highlights on the upgraded grille that we got from last year, sequential LED headlights and daytime runnings with the welcoming and the farewell. And it's the Thor LED headlights and daytime runnings, and this light assembly itself will beam at least 4 to 6 times brighter than a non-luxury vehicle. 8.8 inches of clearance, again with the chrome surrounding the lower and the side air pocket, front parking sensors. You get a 360 camera that starts on the core trim. Now sidetracking to competition, BMW, Mercedes, Audi, no one's going to compete with this. And Audi doesn't even have a plug-in variant, especially considering the price, because when you go into a plug-in hybrid for Mercedes and BMW, you're going to be spending 10, maybe 20,000, if not more, to get the same comparable features that you're getting here. So it is keeping it that sweet spot luxury premium SUV. Some people might say Mazda, it's not going to compete with this. What's underneath the hood is this 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder paired with an 18.8 kilowatt-hour battery, producing a combined at 455 horsepower and 523 pound-feet of torque, paired to an 8-speed Geartronic automatic transmission, achieving 27 mpg combined for the gas only, 58 mpge combined, charging time at 5 hours on a level 2 with a total range of 33 full electric miles, reaching 60 at 5 seconds, and a top speed around 112 miles per hour. And the performance numbers that you get is crazy. Plus you're getting full electric range, which makes it even more sought off. But 5 hours to charge that battery, come on. I mean, it's doable, don't get me wrong. And if you're only going 30-ish miles to work and back, it's actually gonna be the best way to go because it's obviously enough and you're never using the gas. That being said, when you go into Mercedes and BMW, it's going to be a little bit more range than this. The charging times are a little bit quicker too, so they do need to kind of step up the game there, but then they give you more, giving you a 21-inch wheel that starts on the core trim and trickles into the Ultra. You can option a 22-inch wheel. So now when we add the weight distribution, what's housed underneath the hood, that 18.8 kilowatt battery, that gives us an additional 143 horsepower. And the turbocharged 4-cylinder is going to have a total of 312 horsepower. This becomes a game changer because this is near fully loaded. You could still tack on features, don't get me wrong, but it'll still be right around a $90-ish thousand price. Nobody against this is going to be that price with this much performance, with this much dynamics, and it's still premium luxury, which you'll see in the interior of this review. So it's ticking the box. It's still that sweet spot vehicle. That's what I feel. I mean, you can let me know in the comments. LED vertical signature tail lights with the welcoming and the farewell Volvo print. It's going to carry on with the chrome as well as the lower part of the bumper, 5,000 pounds of towing, reverse parking sensors, and the LED light bar that's underneath the lower roof spoiler. And circling back to the competition, 195 inches, third row SUV, BMW, Mercedes, it's not going to be the case when you're going into a PHEV, not for this price, because the X5, it's a 2-row variant, and this is only 0.7 to maybe 0.8 inches longer than those vehicles. So this is what you're getting as an all-round package. I mean, do you think it's worth that upgraded price? Let us know in the comments. And if you're new to the channel, click the subscribe button and a like, because all these clicks help with the algorithm so we can bring more vehicles like this to the channel. For me, I think Volvo hit a home run. Power liftgate going into 10.5 cubic feet of storage. And to give you an example of what that cargo looks like, behind the third row, you still have a sufficient amount of room to put a few bags. You have bag holders here, LED interior lights, and the bag holders are going to carry on both sides. I don't personally use them. If you guys use them, let me know in the comments. I think it kind of is a waste The 12 volt, I would like to see a home plug by now. It's 2026. You get bottle holders here, which is great. A little storage cubby here. This goes a little bit more deep behind the wheel well. Underneath the floor, you have a little bit of area for storage. For any emergencies, they take care of you here. A side to side is going to be 44.5. Add 10 inches if you're going behind the wheel well. A front to back nearly 2 feet at 23 1/4 inches. To increase cargo to 34.5 cubic feet, you pull that and it's going to pull that a 50-50 split. The con that I have though is look what I have to do. Literally, I gotta go inside in order to pull these up because they don't have anything to pull it up with. That being said, a front to back is going to max over 4 feet at 50 inches. And unfortunately, like all auto industries, 85.7 cubic feet of storage. Well, you're gonna have to come back here and fold these at a 40-20-40 split. And I mean 40-20-40 split because each one, you'll have to individually do it. This has the booster, so you'll just have to fold that down. And then you fold this seat. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing, it's just a little bit more work than need be, especially when you're at an $85,000 price. It would be nice if there was some buttons here to fold those seats down. And of course, that's for all auto industries. But front to back, 7 feet. That's really impressive for the size of this vehicle. The key fob to the XC90 T8. Because this is the Ultra, you're gonna have 16-way power seat adjustment for the front. It's going to give you extra cushion extensions. Ventilated seats, Napa leather through the interior. Heated front seats, it's perforated. You get memory for the driver. Upgraded Harman Kardon. Real wood inlays. You get the glossy black that's gonna surround the air vents with the satin aluminum. And for those who are not familiar with Volvo, you get a tailored dashboard with the contrast stitch. This is going to have the cloth inserts, and they actually put cloth here too with the real wood. Heated leather wrap steering wheel, heated seats are going to be standard, and you get the crystal knob. Now this used to only be on the T8s, but it's kind of going across all the trims. Knee space at 6'3", I have 4.5 inches here, and I have an additional 5.5 inches on this side. And they do not sacrifice when it comes to comfort because these seats are very comfortable. My knees are not in the air. They're literally being surrounded by the cushion extensions. Everything can bolster around you to make it a more comfortable fit. Last year we had two versions of a 2025 and a 2025.5 to give us this 11.2 inch screen that gives you over 21% better pixel quality. Let's fire it up. Auto dimming rear view mirror, LED interior lights. You just slide your finger here to open up that pano. And going back to this screen configuration, it has Google Play, Google Maps, Google Assist, wireless connectivity like your Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Sirius XM, AM, FM, streaming, Bluetooth audio. Put it into reverse. The core starts with this and it'll naturally carry on into the Ultra with the 360-degree reverse camera. You can change out the camera layouts. You can also do a side-to-side. You can do a front. The nice thing about this is how intuitive it is, and the response is actually really quick. Unfortunately, everything is done through this infotainment screen. So for your climate control, you'll just simply click onto here and it'll open up a big menu. When you click onto here, this will give you your applications. Otherwise, you only have a few controls right here, and it's for your sound system. That open wood pour comes into play here, opening up into your cup holders. You got a little area here that you could put your smartphone if it's smaller than mine. You have a wireless charging pad that's right here. This configuration was cleaned up quite a bit from the prior because this area here would go all the way inwards. This is going to be more firm, and because it's a luxury, I would like it to be soft. It opens up to a medium storage pocket. You get a 12 volt, couple of USB ports, multi-function steering wheel. And the gauge cluster is a 12.3 informational display, and you have a few different ways you can tailor it with the navigation, or you can just have it as a com. Heads-up display is on the Ultra trim with more than enough headroom for somebody at my height. And even leg space, 4.5 inches here with an additional 6 inches here. Door panel and dash, the configuration, I think they do a good job. I mean, you could definitely tell they pay attention to detail because the wood goes into here. Even with this satin aluminum, I actually like how they drop it off here and they pick it up here, because when you're looking at the way the design is, it really does set it apart from other automotive industries. Acoustic side windows and front windscreen, as well as a pano, so the sound deadening is going to be good. The con, no soft closed doors, and this is 85 grand. It is soft to touch here. One touch up and down for all the windows with a long storage pocket, and it also flexes with a hidden pocket for the driver. For the back seats, you can option this as a bench or captain seat. So this is the 7-seat configuration, and you can get a 6-seat configuration. Manual sunshades, because we have the Ultra trim, you're gonna have more soft materials just right in this area, but the highlight is still using the premium materials with a medium-sized storage pocket sitting behind me in the driver's seat I was sitting in. You have air vents right here. You have a storage net, dual climate control in the rear, heated rear seats. That's part of the Ultra. Charging ports you're taken care of with 2 USB-C ports. It's not a flat floor. We'll see how it looks in a second. Knee space sitting behind me. I have about 3 inches. On this side, I have an additional 3.5 inches. You can also adjust these forward, and that would not make sense for me here, but it could make sense for somebody sitting behind me. Slide it all the way back because I need the space. Headroom is more than enough, even though you sit up higher, and these seats also recline, which would give me even more space, and I can relax a little bit more. Cup holders and armrests, you will just simply push here, and this folds up. This is the nice thing here, is you have this booster seat, so you don't have to pay for an extra seat. You have it in the Volvo, and you can utilize the seats next to each other. The only problem with that seat is it becomes more firm sitting here in the center. Knee space is about 1.5 inches here, nothing if the seat's back more so. Feet, butt, leg, and shoulder space, it's actually not bad at all, giving us a near 20 inches from side to side, and you even sit higher sitting in the center, but I still have sufficient headroom. For the third row, pull here, and it's gonna adjust. It's new, so you're gonna have to give it a little muscle, giving us a max opening of about 14.5 inches to fit 2 more back here. And these are kind of like jumper seats. You do have some storage here in the center. You'll have cup holders on both sides with a storage pocket. There isn't any charging ports. You get the air vents there on the side. The whole headliner is carved out, so I do appreciate that being tall. Sliding this back, it doesn't index, it just kind of falls on you. And because of the way the seats are, you have to really straddle your legs, making knee space really difficult any way you cut it. And you will be sharing a ton of leg space here, but I can see 2 occupants fitting, but you can't recline the seats back. Headroom isn't necessarily too bad, but it's just going to be a little bit too uncomfortable for somebody that's over 6'3". And a lot of that is not just the headroom, but my knees are literally in the air. I'm only using really my thigh and butt to be comfortable sitting in the third row. We have it in all electric right now, so you're not gonna hear anything. The seats are comfortable. You can bolster them a lot of different ways. Only thing I wish is they would add a little bit more cushion, but it's still more soft than firm, so I appreciate that. Now, when the engine clicks in, you will hear that. They could add a little bit more sound deadening around the engine. 21-inch wheels, and I've driven it with 22-inch wheels, both of which are very comfortable. I mean, it's a near 50-50 weight distribution, so you have some dynamics to the vehicle. And this weighs over 5,000 pounds, have you? Over 8 inches of clearance. Visibility is perfectly fine. Large windows, and it doesn't really look that way on the exterior. When you just tap the gas pedal, man, this thing is just ready to take off. It lifts up a little bit. It doesn't feel wide or long, so I like that too, because when you're looking at a third row SUV, especially in the premium luxury category, you want something that isn't over 200 inches, and Volvo gives it to you. This is the largest vehicle they make, and it does carve out enough room for 2 more occupants in the back. It's gonna be tight, especially if you're over 6 foot tall. But if you need to use it, it's there. Most people just fold down the seat. Now, one thing that I will note is when you drive this on more of the pure or electric, in the mixture of the hybrid, the pedal feels completely different than it does putting it into all power, or you can drive it as an all-wheel drive. So I like that you can configure this a few different ways for your driving needs, especially if you need all-wheel drive capabilities. But it stays quiet all the way through, unless you're really giving it full performance. I mean, let's check out the performance. So is Volvo giving you your cake and you can eat it too is kind of the question that I'm getting at, because with BMW, Mercedes, that's not going to be the case, not at just over $85,000, not with all the features you're getting, not with all the dynamics you're getting, and there isn't anything that's really comparable to it under it. So I think Volvo really has hit a home run. I mean, this is definitely a sweet spot vehicle. Even though it has increased in price, they've also increased in amenities. I mean, let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Check out this next video right here.